welcome to the R. I'm your host, Rocker Broodnow. Today we'll be discussing recent events, news, family, friends, and relationships, weather, and school. First, in recent events, I recently had a deep fryer party on Wednesday. Now, for those of you who haven't had a deep fryer party before, two things to keep in mind. Make sure you invite a lot of people because more often than not everyone will show up. And don't make all the food in advance because one, there's really no point since it's a deep fryer, it'll cook relatively fast. Two, you may end up making more food than you actually need and end up having to either eat it or try and get a biohazard team to dispose of it for you because it's considered probably toxic waste. Now, seeing as how I only invited one friend, I broke rule number one. I broke rule number two because I made a lot of food. Now, though the nachos were really good, I must recommend them, especially with a little lime and salt. It was kind of disgusting to have to eat a massive thing of onion rings. Now, for those of you who plan on deep frying, keep in mind that if you make onion rings, put in the minimum amount because they will otherwise come out in a giant wad of onions, batter, and grease. Kind of like a glowing mass of disgustingness. I ate about half of that and, well, you can probably gather what happened from there, so keep that in mind if you have a deep fryer party. Always invite lots of people and don't make the food in advance. Now then, I'd like to talk about in other recent news, the Something Planet podcast, hosted by John J., David the Day, Stewie B., and Endless Mike, has made their own Facebook group at last. Congratulations, guys! And also, there's something I'd like to remind everyone, the Something Planet Birthday Extravaganza #1, this time it's personal, will be held May 9th at Gasoline Alley in Largo between Gulf Bay and East Bay Drive. Tickets are $6 for 21-year-olds and plus, and $9 for everyone else. There will be local musical performances, a rock band contest, and much more. So I highly recommend attending it, even if you're not a big party fan, just because it's going to be quite an event, and you will get bored, trust me. On to news. Tonight at 11 p.m. and tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Comedy Central, Jon Stewart will go head-to-head with Rick Santelli, the host of Mad Money. Rick Santelli made several inaccurate predictions of the stock market and also recommended people to put quite a bit of money into certain stocks that right now aren't doing so well. He's already losing credibility with NBC, and after tonight's chastising by Jon Stewart, it'll probably just continue. So tune in if you wish to see him bashed, want to see Jon Stewart, or just want to see something in general. Keep that in mind. 11 p.m. tonight, 8 p.m. tomorrow, Comedy Central. In other recent news, local Tarpon Springs High School resource officer, has been charged with new sexual allegations made by a teacher. Former Tarpon Springs High teacher Sarah Buckley said she engaged in mutual flirtatious banter with the Kazuris during August and September '07. But Buckley said in the report Kazuri's comments began to make her feel uncomfortable. Buckley, who taught during the '07-'08 year, said that on one occasion, after school had let out for the day, Kazuri's asked me if I would like to go into my classroom and suck his dick, the report said. Buckley said that after she told Kazuri his behavior was inappropriate, he propositioned her again one or two more times because he just couldn't get enough. Buckley said that the report also told how the young woman who Kazuri's had sexual relationship with during his stay at the high school, though she graduated in '08, said she was still a student during the time of the sexual relationship and was under the age of 18. This is when he began complimenting her physical appearance and telling her about problems he was having with his wife. So, though he got off on that charge, the blowing the teacher job won't really get off quite as easily. So, if you're a student, but I would like to make a point, which is if you're a high school resource officer and you'd like to get your dick wet and paid for it, go to Tarpon Springs High because I'm sure you can get some kind of love. Now on to family, friends, and relationships. Recently, I hung out with an old friend from Indian high school. I spent 3 months there, and during my time, I pretty much had the most interesting experience with what I like to call the zoo animals there. After speaking with my friend, I learned that not only has nothing changed, but they've in fact gone more insane. So, Good luck, Dylan. Hold on. Graduation is not far away. Another family news. My little sister recently made a Facebook page. That was pretty interesting because, as her protective older brother, I wanted to make sure that she put up the right things, didn't make anything inappropriate. But from a sibling rivalry point, I wanted to make sure she embarrassed herself. So you probably will find a little bit of both if you're on her friends list. On to the weather. For Friday and the weekend, the high will be around 80-ish and the low will be 60. So not really good beach weather unless you go like midday. Otherwise, I just go for a nice walk. Then Monday through Tuesday, you'll have thunderstorms and a high of around 75, 76-ish. And the rest of the week will pretty much be sunny. So good outing sporting days. On to school. For those of you who are taking SATs, the SAT test will be held Saturday, March 14th at local high schools and testing centers. Make sure you bring 2 number 2 pencils and a calculator. And also make sure you don't have a QWERTY keyboard because they will not allow you to use it if it does have one. So check the local website to make sure your calculator will be allowed. Also, make sure that you don't bring any electronics, or if you do, you make sure they're aware of it and they hold them for you because they will not only take your test away, but completely dismiss your score, throw you out, and not give you a refund. So remember, keep that in mind, tech nerds. For those of you who are the high school juniors, FCAT Science will be held on Monday. Yay, if you're taking SAT on Saturday. Lots of tests. It pretty much will cover anything you've learned up to the 10th grade, which pretty much is earth science, biology, and a little chemistry. If you took astrology, that might help too, but honestly, you might not even have to study because it doesn't really count towards your high school diploma as much as the reading and math. Just make sure that you don't completely fail. That's pretty much it. So this has been the Pilot of the R. I hope you enjoyed. Depending on more comments, I'll probably post more episodes, have guests on, answer questions from local viewers, and much more. So if you wish to contact me, my phone number is 727-235-3376, and my email is umbrosangelus@aim.com. That's UMBROS@ANGELUS@aim.com. Thank you.